Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a good morning. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a pullback for UWT and forward slash CL. Forward slash CL most importantly. Looking at this 180-day 4-hour chart, we could see that forward slash CL is getting a slight rejection from that $68 price point. Looks like it fell below that EMA line. Right now, it's making lower lows. It's trading in between on the 1-day, 1-minute chart, in between that middle and bottom VWAP. Definitely is not, the pattern that we want to see. Looks like it's continuously getting rejected as of right now. I'm going to set my alert for the break above that middle VWAP, and also as we get closer to that SMA line. Let's check this out. Good morning, good morning. Hope you guys are all having a good morning. I don't know if you guys also saw this as well. Was it JNUG had another additional sell-off, and then the last one was DGAS. DGAS tried to push up during pre-market hours, sold off. It's trading again below that middle and bottom VWAP. So something that I just wanted to make sure that we take into consideration, that although it did show signs of an uptrend, as of right now on how the current market conditions are opening, it's still in between the middle and bottom VWAP. So nothing too great, at least in my eyes, for that. So also, I just saw Facebook is at that 180 price point. So looks like it had a really solid push up. Wow, that was pretty crazy. Okay, so it has a solid push up, trying to hold above 180. 180-day analysis. Let's check this out. It's trying to catch right back up again, so it's starting to consolidate right around 180. So let's check this out. Let's see. What is it? Okay, so we got this. Built a support right now at around this 3320 area. And then it's getting rejected around that middle VWAP. For Facebook, here we go. For a pullback, just setting my alerts as of right now. So something that, I just want to make sure that I take into consideration. Shopify just broke above 150. PTC just broke above 95. So let's take a look. Shop pushing right back up again. You're still in Shop, Nick, right?
Yeah.
All right. So 180-day analysis looks like it's starting to push right back up. Nice little push up. Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, I was getting a couple messages that the current application, such as Robinhood, wasn't working properly when it comes down to being able to search up specific ticker symbols. So looks like UWT just broke below support as well. Looks like a good amount of people are having that issue. So if you guys are having that issue, just know that it's a pretty general issue as of right now that's going on with Robinhood. Pretty low volume. Sam showing signs of an uptrend. UWT just broke below that $33.20 support. It's getting really close to continuously making lower lows, and that's definitely not something that we want to ride. But let's see. Ricky, what do you think about EA at the moment? So we talked about ticker symbol EA yesterday. Looking at the 180-day chart, slight resistance right around this general area as it's been struggling to make higher highs. Looks like it opened up pretty strong. It looks like it's making higher highs. 1-day, 1-minute chart, yeah, definitely showing higher highs. It looks a little bit overextended, so I could expect a pullback. If it tries to hold above 132.50, then I think that's pretty solid. But yeah, just take that into consideration. Here we go. Just trying to catch a support. MACD indicator is trying to show signs of a reversal, but who knows if it will. Let's check this out. Good morning, good morning. What about EGAN? Check this out. Okay, so EGAN still showing signs of a potential reversal. Right around that resistance, what is this? 1470, that general area. It looks like it's been still holding above the EMA line, which is actually pretty impressive based on it making like lower highs before. So, taking that into consideration, I'd watch out for resistance right around $15, and then the one that follows is right around 16. So almost about every 50 cents is when I would be cautious about the potential resistance for ticker symbol EGN. When it comes to the 1-day 1-minute chart, volume's a little bit low, so that it just wouldn't necessarily fit my taste and criteria to trade. So that's why I personally removed it from my watch list. So yeah. What's going on, Howard? Hope you're having a good morning. What's going on, Don? What's up? What's up? Thank you again for tuning in. What do you think about Facebook? I like Facebook. I mean, it's showing signs of of just consolidation around that 180 general price point, and I definitely like that. So, can you check out GALT? Let's check it out. All right, so it looks like it's been pushing up. Looks like it could pull back a little bit. Also 180-day 4-hour chart. Okay. Whoa. Okay. All right, there we go. So it's a strong downward pattern, and it's still trending down. So I would focus on the direction that the EMA line is pointing. So with that understanding as of right now, I would set an alert for a potential reversal as of right now. I wouldn't necessarily say that this would be a good buy. It looks like it did try to push up, but it's still, the EMA line is still aggressively pointing down. So I'm gonna take a look at, I don't know why, my goodness. SFIX just made higher highs. So SFIX, it's hitting that resistance right around $34. Again, the following resistance is right around $35. It definitely looks very overextended, so I just want to make sure that you guys all understand that before taking a position. So right now we're getting a nice little push up for UWT. So it looks pretty solid as of right now. But again, will it hold? Something that we'll definitely have to follow up with. Good morning, good morning. So Christian, what do I think about NDLS? He is asking, first of all, volume is a little bit low. 180-day analysis, we could see that there's, so what I did here was I was trying to see like when it was actively pointing up. So it looks like it's trying to trend up right now based on previous patterns is like this consolidation period. So I still have my alert for the break above $11 to get more of a confirmation that it's going to be pushing up. Resistance right around that $12 price point, and then the one that follows right around $13. So Facebook just broke above 181, so pretty solid pattern there. We got UWT at 33.40 as of right now. So it's trying to push up, and again, I don't want to get too excited because if we get rejected, we still have this like descending pattern. So there's no break of pattern when it comes down to like break of reversal, right? So that this is something that I want to take into consideration. So although, this is why I find futures to be so important. Because, okay, it looks like UWT is trying to now break above that middle VWAP, and that's great, right? That's definitely great and all. But looking at forward slash CL, we can see that it's still trading in between this, middle and bottom VWAP, right? And this is what's most important. And also, it might be getting rejected right around this SMA indicator. So even until it hits this general area, this is all still a potential sell territory because this is a resistance. Does that make sense? So that's definitely something that we want to take into consideration because we have that data to go based off of when trading these series of ETFs. So just wanted to make sure that I share that with each and every single one of you. So, all right. Okay, so for AAXN, who called this one out? So what's going on, CJ? As of right now, I see more signs still again of a sell-off. No signs of a full-on reversal. Still trending below this SMA indicator. It used to trend above or trade above the SMA indicator, showing signs of an ongoing uptrend. It broke that pattern. It's been making lower lows. It's been getting rejected by this EMA line, and right now we're still trading below it. So I would be very careful about taking a position, especially before the general confirmation. Alright, here we go. Alert set for the break above 105. I like this ascending uptrend pattern. Overall SMA indicator acting as a support. I would wait for the break above 105, getting that EMA line to show more signs of a direction of it pointing up. Resistance, I would say around 110. So around 105 to 110. It doesn't offer huge margins, about 5%. It should be a little bit less than 5%. But again, it's a pretty consistent ascending uptrend pattern. So definitely something that I would personally find to be a little attractive. So I'm going to put this one under pending reversals and kind of go based off of that. So I think this would be a good one for myself to keep an eye out for. Let's check out the volume. Volume's a little bit low. So just, something that we'll have to follow up with. JNUG still selling off. So 180-day analysis. Yep, still selling off. So wow, making lower lows. Pretty crazy. Diaz, how's this thing doing today? Yeah, Diaz sold right back off again today to that pretty much $21 support. Seeing if it has this overall reversal, but yeah, nothing showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern for that. So it's been a pretty red day for a lot of these, like maybe ETFs, right? How's PayPal doing? PayPal's doing good, pushed up very nicely. So, and again, this is a company that's been progressively pushing up, slight resistance right around this $88 price point. It's been consolidating and pulling back around this general area of $86. So nice little margin there. I would wait for the break above this, and it definitely has the potential to continue to uptrend. But I think it's going to be a matter of time until it actually does that. Look at the MACD indicator and look at the RSI. You could expect somewhat of a pullback prior to that. So Shop as well. Shop has been showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Actually just pulled back quite a bit. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, nice. Looking at it.
So it pulled back quite a bit. We'll see if we catch a nice little bounce. Set these alerts. I actually really like the pattern that Shop is offering right now. So and how it's been moving. So ticker symbol EA just broke above its resistance of 132.83. Let's check this out. Ticker symbol BABA. Okay, so Alibaba, definitely a little bit more on the oversold side, right? So if we draw this general area of a support and then this general area of where it normally peaks out at based on previous patterns, then we could see that it's approaching more of this potential range where it might be a buy. Watch out for this earnings report based on previous patterns. As it approaches earnings or even shortly after. This is normally when it's at the lower price points. So looks like that's pretty normal. Looks like it's trying to consolidate as of right now. So it's struggling to make lower lows now. It's starting to show signs of this consolidation, kind of just flatlining. So what we would do now is I'm going to set an alert. If we start making higher highs, then that would be maybe a proper indication of a reversal. So we can draw and set a couple of alerts so we can try to catch this when this thing starts to move back up. The margin of profit is definitely there. Obviously, Alibaba's multi-billion-dollar corporation, known for they're very inexpensive right? Online products. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I really like the pattern. I'm gonna add this one to my pending reversal, and then we can follow up with it then. So we've found a couple good stocks in this live stream today, so that we could follow up with. What is that green line called? It's called the SMA line. That's please be sure to be completing the course. So I'm all for answering a lot of FAQs, but if you are not completing the course, um, and we can definitely check that. So that's one of the questions that I've been asking when we receive like very like elementary questions that we know are covered in the course. The course is there to provide that foundation, and if you can't complete that first and then start trading, then again you need to learn how to identify value, how to get the very basic concept of trading first before you actually start trading. I don't feel like that's like there's no reason that you should try to speed up the process. So shop is tanking. Is it? No. It's still at that same price point. Is it not?
Same, yeah.
Yeah. UWT rejected. Yeah, that it does look like it's getting rejected. So /CL looks like it's pulling back. Looks like it got rejected by that SMA line. So definitely something there. Let's see. Yep, looks like it. Okay, let's check this out. What the heck? Is that another push? Okay. Holy moly. Yeah, shop just broke above 149, so we'll see if it's trying to catch a support right around that SMA line. Let's try to simplify things down. We're calling out a lot of stocks, and it might be very overwhelming. Okay, so actually shop, yeah, it makes sense on why it's getting rejected in this general area. So let's see. All right, take a look at Twitter. So let's take a look. All right. Okay. Yeah. So do you see this SMA indicator? So I want to give a shout out to the reason that I'm looking at the 1 hour chart for the thank you again for the friendly reminder is because of this reminder that one of our traders just sent out. Where are you at? I do apologize. I don't see your message anymore. But it's like, hey, take a look at shop on the 1 hour chart. Looks like it's getting rejected. So I did see your message. I do apologize. I can't give you credit, but oh, Matt. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah. But yeah. So if we look at, it wasn't necessarily on Twitter, but it was on ticker symbol shop. And if we go on that 1 hour chart, it looks like it makes sense on why it's getting rejected around this general area, right? So as this thing is pushing up, this SMA line is acting as a resistance. Same thing when we move on over to the ticker symbol, Twitter. It would be a little bit difficult to see like where it might be getting rejected. It makes sense on why now Twitter is more at a sell territory than buy. 180-day analysis, we would have not been able to identify that resistance, or even on the 1 day 1 minute chart, that would have been very difficult to have been able to identify it. So it looks very overextended and stuff like that. UWT just pulled back like no other. So but yeah, So it's starting to show signs of a potential reversal. Nice little recovery there, but also just take into consideration on that 1 hour, on that 20-day 1 hour chart, or whatever time frame you have set up on that 1 hour chart. It's showing signs of a potential resistance, which is just something to take into consideration. So we'll set an alert here for the reversal. All right, let's go ahead and so AMD showing signs of it being a little bit more on the overbought side. It looks like it did pull back a little bit and it's trying to catch a little bit more momentum. Can it break $20? I definitely do think so, but it's just not in that good deal territory. And we talked about it yesterday with like the opportunity cost. Like it definitely does have more margin for it to push up, right? So it can hit 20 again, but the margin of loss is much greater. So the opportunity cost just isn't necessarily worth it for me. Okay, so we just got to call out that ARQL is pushing up. Slight resistance right around $6, so something that I would take into consideration. It's getting very close to that. There's about 20 cents left. It's been trading in between the middle and top VWAP. This would definitely be more of a day trade. So as it's approaching that general area of $6, so we'll set an alert for the break above that. But as you guys can see right here, I mean, it's definitely not a good deal. Is it a good buy? I mean, that's up for you to decide. But yeah. Here we go. DGAS showing signs of a potential reversal. JNEG still selling off. Facebook just broke above 182. PayPal again hitting that resistance right around $88. So congrats to all those that are on PayPal hitting that resistance once again. Facebook just broke above 182.33. UWT pulling back. Shop trying to push right back up again. And ticker symbol SAM. Still consolidating. It is up on the day, but again, this one does have pretty low volume. So something that you might want to take into consideration before taking your next position. Let's answer this as a group. So again, LABU in goodbye. Like first of all, like why is it that you would call this out to be? There's a difference from a good deal and like in a good deal range and a good buy, right? So with that understanding, LABU is still consolidating around this area, right? The EMA line is pointing down. It's showing signs of a downtrend. It's in that good deal territory, but it's not showing any signs of a reversal. So, before we start calling out or start getting into certain positions, this is like we've covered this in the course. A series of steps that you're supposed to develop and make sure that every stock meets before you take your position. And I'm here to remind you that you need that structure, right? To be able to better identify what stocks to invest in and what stocks not to invest in. If you have no criteria and you just invest because you want to invest, then again, you're going to be very loose with your both entries and exits and also with the positions that you end up taking, and it probably isn't going to lead to the greatest form of success, right? So let's just make sure that we understand that. Yeah, no signs of an uptrend. Yeah, so, okay. All right. I really like the pattern on PayPal myself. Yeah, we have a lot of stocks that, a lot of ETFs that I'm watching right now that are still in the consolidation phase. I'm in on one that's still consolidating, so I'm trying to be patient with that one. Facebook is actively trending up. PayPal is actively trending up. Shop pulled back, and Twitter's pushing up, but Twitter's showing more signs of a resistance. No, but it still has quite a bit of margin to push up. It's just been making lower lows. Let's check out how Tesla's doing. Tesla's still up. It's definitely not in that good deal range, but it's still up. What's another one? Netflix. Nope, still trending down. Okay, so CRM is showing signs of an uptrend, so we just got to call out by Zach. But again, that resistance, that general area of around like, I wouldn't even say 150, but let's just even go with a high price point of 150. EMA line is still pointing up. That's good. It's showing almost potential signs of a peak formation. You can see with the RSI and the MACD. And also the margin of profit does not outweigh the margin of loss. So opportunity cost for me in that position isn't necessarily there. Yeah, it's been making lower lows. So, wow, pretty aggressive sell-off. And there we go. Yeah, it's definitely showing signs of a downtrend, just like we identified right as the market opened, trading between that middle and top VWAP. So, not much of a surprise there. All right. Let's see, JNUG. Facebook pulling back a little bit. Okay. Yeah, this would definitely be more of a pump and dump than anything, so I would personally stay away. All right. Still getting rejected. Rejected. Pulling back. Pulling back. Wow. TES had a really nice push up. It's covered almost 2% already. JNUG still selling off. Facebook with a potential bounce at around this EMA line. So looking out for that. All right, guys. So we've done about 30 minutes of technical analysis and breaking down stocks for today. So it looks like Facebook just broke above. Are there any open-ended questions that don't necessarily have to do with ticker symbols, but more of just a general question that you've direct messaged me that I haven't gotten back to you on that I can answer live? Feel free to let me know, and then we'll close out the live stream at that point. All right. So let's just make sure that the questions have to do with some form of like investing and stuff like that. Yeah, so Howler's asking, am I currently holding any stock? So I'm still in UWT, just like I talked about on Friday. So I'm still following up with that. So I finished the course, wondering if you will be adding to the course. Of course, that's something that we provide on that landing page that I will continue to update the course as time goes on. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely still see Apple to be very overextended. It looks like it had a really nice push up, but it makes sense on why it would pull back and potentially bounce at around the SMA line. I think that there's a lot of hype behind it by just being like, well, I think overall it's worth, right, is what, like one, is it $1 trillion? Did you hear about that or no?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the first company to break $1 trillion of net worth. So I think there's still quite a bit of hype behind it, especially after its earnings. I'd wait a little bit more for a pullback. So um, so what are my opinions on companies like this? What do you mean by? I mean, this thing doesn't have much data for me to go based off of. So if that's what you mean by newer companies with less data to go based off of, I usually don't trade them myself. So yeah. All right. So, Drew, I don't really understand your question. So, like, how do you handle all points to green, all new highs? I don't understand what it is that you're talking about. Uh, when do you call it a day? How do you know when you decide that you are done? If you're talking about like either if you're like red on the day and stuff like that, or if you're just struggling to find certain tickers, you just have to understand that like well I would invest more like the first hour to maybe hour and a half of the market. Honestly, it shouldn't even take that long, but to be able to perform the technical analysis on the stocks that you are aware of and understanding and trying to make sense of like setting your alerts and being like honest with yourself to see if there's any real opportunity that can be taken advantage of today, and if there's not, then set those alerts and you could follow up with it as the day goes on. So, do you purchase the stock if the price is below the EMA line but still pointing up? I get what you're saying. So, if there's like a pullback and it's been showing signs of an uptrend, that's definitely something that you can take into consideration. But it's been the most effective when I've waited for the bounce and wait for the break back above the EMA line, confirming that it's actually going to reverse right back up. So, UWT push. Yeah, I did see that it pushed a little bit. So, there we go, 1 trillion. So, Ricky, do you think that we must do some fundamental analysis and technical analysis together? For example, we must understand when a stock appreciates or depreciates in value over time. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's good to, if you're going to invest a lot of money into a company and not only based on technical analysis, but if you're going in for a potential like swing trade, it's good to have a fundamental understanding of, where the company is heading and stuff like that. So, that's why the only company that I've ever considered to go long on for an actual long period of time is Facebook because of the good deal opportunity and the longevity that I think that Facebook has to offer. So, yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. That does not mean that that's fact in any way. So, yeah, so I take every single time frame into consideration. So Mason's asking when you look for a swing trade, obviously I first look at the 4-hour charts, try to understand the direction there. But when I'm about to take my position, I look at the smaller time frames and making sure that I'm getting a good deal because, I might be getting a good deal on the 4-hour chart, but if I go on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, it might be super overextended, right? And that's not something that I want. So I want to get a good deal and I want to make sure that it's actively pointing up on all time frames. So one thing that I'm struggling is how to understand how long to hold a swing trade. This is where the good deal and good sell territories, so the good deal ranges and the good sell territory ranges, have to be taken into consideration. There's no exact price point. You have to focus on like ranges within certain price points of when it's approaching a certain resistance. That general area is a good time to sell, or when it's at a support and it's reversing, that general area is a good time to buy. So I would once I started really feeling that much more confident about my positions is when I started to focus on like less of the exact dollar value and to understand that I'm never gonna like get in or out at exactly the perfect price point. But if I focus on a general area where it still meets my criteria of it moving up, showing signs of an uptrend, all that stuff, but that I could get a good deal. And when it's approaching this general area of a resistance, to not be afraid and to lock in profits. So you have to go back to the basics and be able to perform your technical analysis and be able to identify certain resistance levels and ranges within that resistance level of where it might be a decent idea to start to sell off a couple of your shares. How long do you usually hold a swing trade for? When I was actually like doing the short-term swing trades, it was anywhere from around like 3 to 4 days, so it wasn't anything too crazy. Can you elaborate about low volume? I've watched a couple of videos and it seems. Yeah, well, something that I looked, well, first of all, I have my watch list set up from high volume to low volume. So I can see right away that Sam Adams doesn't have high volume. But also when I look at something like this and go to the 1 day, 1 minute chart, I could just see the candles and how they're so like, split up. And then we see these like the dashes where they didn't even cover any range. That's just not something that I personally find too attractive. So I'm trading with usually a higher dollar value. So when I trade stocks, I want to make sure that I take into consideration that I don't buy too much where I could potentially end up like when I have to sell that I could drive the price down on myself. So yeah, UWT back up at 33.30. It literally just covered another percent, so that's pretty sweet. Did you buy any Tesla shares? I did not. Um, Yeah, I was. That's something that I was talking to my team about. That I was thinking about. I didn't even know like if I wanted to talk about it, like on YouTube at all about a potential like long term investment that I could take on Facebook, and it would be taking positions of about $5,000 to $10,000, leading up to a total about $100,000 position. But it's just not something that I would like to talk about on YouTube. And if I do talk about it to anybody, then it would be the Learn Plan Profit Group, just because you guys understand that if I take a position, it does not mean that you should as well. And there's too much opinion. There's too many opinions that people would have on YouTube that I just don't want to be influenced by anyone, and nor do I want to influence anyone. It's an investment that I would strictly be sharing just for keeping track of how much how I'm doing and stuff like that. But if I were to do this on YouTube, I just feel like it would be very opinionated, and people would tell me why or why not I should be investing. It's just not something that I really care too much about. I would rather keep it like personal. So, but yeah, Ryan is saying Sam Adams is terrible, so I'm not surprised it has low volume. Uh, I'm not too sure if you mean the beer itself or the company or both, right? Um, yeah, one Chen, I'm still in UWT. That is correct. Yep. Yeah, I agreed on. Um, Ryan is saying the beer itself. Danny, you cracked me up. When you Okay, so when you stop loss, do you wait for the end of day to sell, or do you sell when your stop loss is triggered? Um, so PayPal just went up. So what do you mean by that? So I mean a stop loss would be a set price point that I would set up where there's a complete break of pattern, and that's where my stop loss would be. So if you're talking about a day trade, then that would be a little bit different. But when it comes to, I mean, if I'm swing trading something, my stop loss would be like good till cancel. Then it would be at a certain price point where there's a break of pattern. So Ricky, are you still having problems with your alert sounds? No, I'm not. It's just I have my headset on, so you guys can't hear the alerts, but I can definitely still hear them here. What was your entry on UWT if you're comfortable with sharing? Yeah, I shared it all week last week. So it was at 32.75 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So Facebook is still trending up. It's reacting very nicely to this EMA line. So just something to take into consideration. Congrats to all those on PayPal. PayPal's still pushing up, so really nice pattern there. And also Shopify showing signs of a potential reversal pattern. So yeah. So no more growth challenge. No, we're still doing it. So I still have my position on what's it called? I'm still up on the UWT position that I have for the stock market growth challenge. I probably should have locked in profits better on this one, but um, yeah. So yeah, I'm up very little on that specific position. So something that we'll have to follow up with, but I don't know if you guys could see it. I'll turn around just a little bit. It says I'm up 0.24%, and my entry price point on this one was I had 100 shares, and that was at the average price of 33.19 after commissions. So yeah. So I feel like we have a good amount of stocks to focus on that are actively trending up. A lot of the ETFs that at least I'm watching are still pending reversals. So that's pretty much where I'm going to have to um, end it at. So uh, one last breakdown, and we have someone asking about KEM. Still showing signs of a downtrend. So that's something that I find to be attractive at all. Adam Smith in PayPal for the long haul. I like it. I like it. I honestly really do like the pattern that PayPal is showing. It's been showing signs of an ascending uptrend pattern, just made higher highs. So obviously there's going to be pullbacks along the way. Um, it's all up to you and how your style of trading is. This would definitely be something like I think Nick and the way he's doing things, like he's pretty active. You're a lot more active than I thought you would be.
On just everything.
Yeah, because of how busy you are. So like
Yeah.
he's someone that has like his career with like modeling and everything else that he does with that. But he's focusing on tickers like PayPal, tickers like Shop, tickers like Facebook, tickers like Amazon. And the really cool thing about that is like he focuses on getting in for a good deal. He could hold it for either a couple of days or a number of weeks, maybe a number of months, right? And as long as you continue to focus on just growing your account, trading quality patterns, then that's the amazing guys. Like even thinking about it, like as of right now, a lot of people might be like very like micro focused on trying to make a specific dollar value of profit per day. But you have to get the ball rolling, right? So even if you can make an extra $500 a month, right, with just being able to take one or two positions for the entire month, then that could really be something that could really add some structure to your trading and kind of just get the ball rolling and stuff like that. So um, that's what I would focus on a little bit more. Shop just broke above 150 again, so must be nice, Nick. All right, that's really just it, guys, for today. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in and for everything that is that you guys do. Um, Again, I'm just holding my specific position as of right now, and if yeah, I'm just gonna try to be patient. The only idea that I have of locking in profits would be for something like my position on UWT on my TD Ameritrade account, because I would rather be a little bit more active with that than I'm sorry, not my TD Ameritrade account, my Fidelity account, and then maybe take a position on something like Facebook, something like PayPal, or something like Shop that I see value in. So we've covered a good amount of stocks that are currently actively trending up. So good job on that. And then for a lot of the ETFs that at least I've been watching, there's a lot of like pending reversals. So I just need to be a little bit more patient with that. So yeah, that's really just it. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Monday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. And if there's anything that I can do to better assist you, then feel free. Like if like right, we got asked like, hey Rick, are you going to update the course, right? If there's any areas of opportunity that you've identified in the course, don't ask me to like add a Forex like options or anything like that. Like I'm not going to add that to the course, right? But if there's something that you think that I missed in the course that has to do with like the stocks and the ETFs that we trade, or that you would like me to elaborate a little bit more on, there's nothing wrong with sending me a message, right? I'm always here for like, providing more value, and I hope that you guys know that, right? Especially if I can, like, why not? This is what we do every single day. So again, all you have to do is ask. Just please keep it very short and simple. Please under 150 characters if that's not too much to ask. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday, and And like always, guys, continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. Let's do something great today. So a lot of you guys are killing it today in the market. Let's go ahead and buy and resell something. Nick, we need, UWT just broke above 33.50. We're going to do something with Nick. So let's make $100 challenge of making $100 today by not just investing in the stock market, buying and reselling something. What do you think?
Sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, let's have fun. Let's start using OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. Let's have fun with everything that we do. So $100 challenge for each and every single one of you guys. Let's do it, guys. Thank you again. Have an amazing Monday. Like always, let's make sure that we're in the year on a green note. Take it easy.